Another crazy week.
Um, yeah, do you want to know what happened to me this week? Disclaimer, I am traveling, which is
You
why
sound
I
like
sound
shit.
fucking terrible. Is it, are you telling me or are you commenting in the show? Like, should I talk lower?
I mean, yes, everywhere. You sound like shit.
Yeah, but is it like normally I talk loudly because you asked me to talk loudly and it sounds better on my mic? Is that worse?
I'm just telling you that it's arbitrary. Continue doing what you're doing.
Okay, no, I was asking like if I needed to adjust.
Yeah. There's no adjustments you can do
Okay.
in this current state.
Okay. So yeah, disclaimer, I'm traveling, which is why my mic situation sounds like garbage. Do you want to know what happened to me while I was traveling?
No.
Well, too late. I'm going to tell you. I was
Then
so
why ask?
tired while because that's what you do. I was so tired while traveling that I got through TSA and then I went to go fill my water bottle up at the water fountain and I just fucking left my luggage there. I just
Did
left my suitcase at the water fountain and I happily went on my merry way. I
it get
found
stolen?
some, well, let me get there. I found
Jesus.
a restaurant that was next to my gate, had a cocktail, sat down for, I shit you not, like an hour and a half, and then went to go get ready to like get on my flight because they were boarding and realized I didn't have half my fucking shit. So then I went, oh my God, like, did I leave it in the restaurant? And then went back there, it wasn't there. And then I realized I left it at the water fountain. And my whole way over to the water fountain, that's like half a fucking terminal away, I'm sitting there thinking about my entire life. I've been fed this propaganda of don't leave your bags unattended because it'll be considered a fucking bomb threat. And I just left my bag unattended for an hour and a half. And so I was wondering, like, if what fucking happens when somebody leaves their bag there? Like, did security pick it up? Have they already checked if it's a bomb threat? How am I gonna get it back in time to get on my fucking plane? Got over there, lo and behold, all this propaganda is bullshit because my bag is just sitting next to the water fountain collecting drip drops from other people's fucking water escapades.
Well, I
And
mean, we all
all
know that TSA is kind of a joke. It was reactionary to something that we didn't even have in our control.
fucking apparently we're not even proactive enough to pick up suitcases, so or we're
Well, to be
understaffed.
fair, neither were
Probably
you.
understaffed. Yeah, yeah, valid. My brain cells were understaffed. Anyway, that's my fun excerpt for you is I was the problem child, the bomb threat bag lady in the airport.
I don't think anything super out of the ordinary happened to me. I mean, I have new glasses. It's so everything's super willow wonky in my vision.
The fuck does that mean?
It's
Is
wonky. You know the word wonky.
willow wonky?
It's willow wonky because it's misspelling Willy Wonka. You fucking
Cuz you can't read the letters. I see. Why is shouldn't your vision be better if you get new glasses though?
okay. You don't know because you don't wear glasses
No,
at all.
that's why I'm
But
asking.
every time your prescription changes and you get new glasses, your eyes are basically bad, and they're constantly adjusting. They're constantly focusing, which is why a lot of people who don't wear glasses who get like really bad headaches, they don't understand that it's their vision that's the problem. So when they get a new pair of glasses that fixes their vision, your eyes aren't adjusted to them. So like your eyes have to basically relax from being constantly focused, and that makes you kind of just it's hard to see things correctly because you're still adjusting to them.
Interesting. It sounds weird
Not
and
really.
confusing.
But yeah, update because we were talking like last week about the whole Trump assassination. It's even crazier now.
Tell us the news.
I mean, this is last week to the rest of you, so it might even be crazier now. But like we all know at this point, Biden dropped out and Kamala's doing it now, which makes I guess so the right wing party is like upsetto espresso about it, and they're considering suing Biden over it. Did you hear that?
Wait, what the fuck? How
They
can you
want to
even? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
they want to sue him for fraud.
doing you fraudulently dropped out? Like what?
Rachel, it's funnier the longer you think about it because, first of all, like they just made a big deal about presidential official acts can't be tried against them, which technically this would be considered if it was even a thing. But primary candidates like aren't decided until like September or August, so it's not like he was like, "Oh, I tricked y'all." He literally was not nominated yet, so
Yeah.
it's all arbitrary. But they're all mad because their anti-Biden rhetoric is like fucking irrelevant now. So, like if you listen very carefully, if you go outside and you just close your eyes and listen, you can hear them. You can hear them thumbing through their campaign binder for what to do in this situation.
But we didn't plan for this.
Yeah. So like that dude who had his truck painted to look like Biden was tied up in the back of it. Pointless now. All of the fuck Biden and go Brandon t-shirts at Trump rallies now as useful as snake mittens. It's hilarious. I love it.
Snake mittens is a good expression.
Regardless, whatever you read on the internet, absolutely arbitrary, doesn't matter. Don't look at who's polling or who's projected to win. Don't even care. Make triple fucking sure you're registered and vote. Nothing else matters.
Yep. Vote and go buy snake mittens.
Yeah. Katy Perry had a new song that came out weeks ago. It sucked.
Is it called
we all
Snake
know
Mittens?
You haven't heard the song?
No, what song came out?
Oh my god. It's Woman's World, and it's she tried to make a female empowerment song, and
and
female is
Katy
empowered
Perry.
by it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't hate Katy Perry. I just think that this song
I just don't see her successfully making a female empowerment song. Don't ask me why. I don't have good reasons to back it up. I just don't see it being don't see it going over well.
Well, I mean, like it came out and it was like super pandering and very tone deaf. Quickly about this is that she sees that it's failing and she's like, oh, well, all this Kamala buzz is gonna breathe life into the song. So she even like messaged Kamala, reached out to her and said, hey, you can use my song if you want for campaigning. And Kamala said, no, thank you.
I'm okay.
But no, like one of the worst things about this song is that it's co-written by Dr. Luke, who,
what?
If you don't know,
Dr. Dre's cheaper cousin?
Yes. No, Dr. Luke is the dude that assaulted K.E. $Ha.
What?
Kesha. It's Kesha. I was making a joke about her
No,
name,
I got
Kesha.
that part. I was wondering about the assault thing. Like, was he the guy that was her manager?
Yeah, he was the manager who assaulted her, and then when she sued, he fucking won. But because of that, there's been a lot of people protesting Woman's World by promoting Kesha's new song, Joyride.
Well, I like that.
You've listened to it? You like it?
No, I mean, like, I like the premise of what's going on. I have not listened to the song.
I agree. The song, not for me. It just didn't resonate with me. I love her work, and I respect when an artist experiments and tries different new things. And I don't hate it.
They just don't always land.
Don't love it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's like Paramore went through a whole, maybe is still going through a whole phase where they got like very, sort of like, I don't know, pop punk I feel like isn't the right word because I think they've always been a little pop punk, but they got
they always
more
have been.
poppy.
I didn't even know that they were still making music. I know that they were catching a lot. I know that to a lot of people they were sounding different simply because they kind of came out as Christians. So
what?
Yeah, Paramore. They're not Christian rock. I wanna make sure like clear that they're not a Christian band. They're just a band that is also Christian. So it's not like don't look for Christian themes in their music. That's not what's happening.
Yeah, they just are Christian people making music.
Yeah, but a lot of people like heard that and then they did the thing with Creed where like they just assume that there is messaging in the music and it's when it's not actually not there at all.
No. It's not my whole personality.
Yeah, I don't know. Kesha's Joyride is eh.
I'll have to check it out. I'll let you know how I feel about it.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just like I don't know. It's experimental. It's very, very different from the things she normally does. And I do like Kesha. Don't do that. Oh, white man hates women music. Ooh, who'd have thought?
as Gamage says that he doesn't like Katy Perry or Kesha's new song.
Oh, yeah, but no, I love Katy Perry, and I love old Katy Perry, and I love Kesha. I'm the biggest fucking Chapel Roan fan in the world. I'm like the furthest away from her demographic.
I've told you about the Chapel Roan
The Miss
Muppets
Piggy
theory that is
conspiracy,
like not
yeah.
even a conspiracy because she literally dressed as Miss Piggy for like a gala event years ago. Like she knows what she's fucking doing.
Yeah, Miss Piggy is like a drag icon, so
Yeah,
it's very
no, it's great.
synonymous with that.
I just love that it's become such a fucking thing and people were calling it a conspiracy theory for a while, myself included. And then my sister sent me a picture or something of her at some event, like years, maybe not years ago, but like a while ago, with a pig nose on, wearing a Mrs. Piggy, like it matched the dress. And I was like, oh, it's not even a conspiracy. She's just blatantly doing Muppet things.
Yeah, the cover for Good Luck Babe, she has a pig nose in that.
Yeah.
It's not that, it's like surface level.
Yeah, it's not that deep, is what I mean.
Brittany actually sent me an ad for a local Pink Pony Club meetup.
Okay.
I guess people in the area are like doing like a gathering for Chapel Roan's music. And I'm not gonna go to that.
Yeah, I kind of figured you don't like people.
Yeah, that's the first, like, first of all, I hate fucking people. Second, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's a meetup for liking. Is it a meetup for just liking the music? Like, she's not going to be there. We're just going to go and be like, yep, yeah, I like this song. That's a good song.
No, it's a meetup for people that like pink ponies. That's it. It's getting very misconstrued.
It's absolutely not related to Chapel Roan at all.
It's really gone off the rails. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like this kind of like gathering for respecting music is it just seems like an excuse designed by extroverts to do more human interaction. No, thank you. Unsubscribe.
An excuse designed by extroverts. It's the extrovert agenda to get you outside.
Why are extroverts always like, hey, introverts, get out of your shell? How about why don't you be quiet and like be reasonable within yourself for a change? No.
Learn to read a book by yourself. God damn it.
Also, the biggest thing about me not going to this is that I feel like it's kind of designed as like a sort of sapphic meetup, which is cool, but
that's exactly why
I probably shouldn't. I probably just shit it out.
No.
Well, I guess there's a big issue with just white men in general going to Chapel Roan concerts because a lot of people are angry because
the issue that they're going? Like that's it?
Well, it's the issue is that like it's supposed to be like a safe space for women and lesbian women, and because Chapel Roan's a big lesbian icon, and they don't want to have their space invaded, which is valid, but it's, you know, if you're going to a Chapel Roan concert, you're probably an ally. You're probably there to be like, hey, I see what you're doing. I support your cause. Keep doing it.
Yeah, well, and it's like if you go to that event to be a douchebag, then yeah, sure, fuck off. But
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Lots of people can enjoy lots of different music.
Yeah, I definitely do. To be fair, I was listening to her before she was cool. I'm a hipster.
Yeah, this is true. You did send me Hot to Go like a while ago.
Yeah, when it came out as a single before the whole album came out. It's a fucking great album. Because I remember listening to when that song came out. Not a whole lot of her songs were that. Like a lot of it was her older stuff. Which if you've listened to Chapel Roan, if you've listened to her older stuff, it's very, 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 very different kind of music. I like it. I think it's really good. It's not as good as her you know, newer stuff, but it's definitely interesting to hear like the evolution of it. And it's really cool watching someone blow up overnight. It's surreal.
Yeah,
I guess she's not a fan of it though.
Like in what way? Of just being, I did read something that was a quote of hers being like, I can't do drugs in public anymore and that sucks.
Yeah, she was saying like I can't hook up and sleep around anymore because she's a public icon.
Yeah, well, and some people I'm sure that want to do that with her are just like crazy face fans, not actual human beings that want to like hang out. So I could see that sucking.
People are already trying to like Taylor Swift Chapel too, where it's there was a post in the subreddit. I'm a part of the subreddit, I know, about
Wait,
voting
the
for
Pony Club Meetup subreddit or the Chapel Roan subreddit?
it's r/Chapel Roan, but it was a subreddit, and there was a whole post about like going to Spotify to vote for Chapel Roan's fan army or something to like show that she has the best fan base.
Oh
Which, look,
God.
I love Chapel. I don't see her being anywhere near Taylor Swift big, because Taylor Swift has a very wide net of a demographic.
Plus, like, she's just starting her rise to fame, whereas, like, Taylor Swift had that uptick and then has continually maintained it by doing. Homegirl does an insane amount of concerts, like, an
She
inhuman
works. She
quantity. Like,
works.
she's a machine. And I don't think most people who are like into music want to do that most of the time. Like that sounds
No.
fucking exhausting. I don't think it really breeds a whole lot of creativity. It's got to be really fucking hard.
Well, I mean, Chapel's 26 now. Like she's been doing music for her whole life, and like it's just now kind of upticking, and she's like, "Oh, wait a
Yeah.
minute. I don't like this."
Holy fuck, what? Why are things
Yeah.
changing?
I mean, your whole life changes when you get like a certain level of notoriety where it's you can't even do grocery shopping anymore. Why do you? And somebody made a good point. Like, why do you think Taylor Swift uses her private jet so much? She can't fucking go anywhere.
Yeah. It's like, this is my reprieve. I'm as far away from the like terrifying fan base
The
on the ground
peasants.
as possible. If I could go to the moon, I fucking might.
Well, that was all of this week, and also Chapel Roan. I love her. This is our podcast.
I'm gonna hit the old dusty trail. Oh, we're doing the start, not the end. My bad.
I'm gonna keep dancing at the Pink Pony Club.
Welcome to We Have That Podcast at Home. I'm on brand Rachel.
And I'm on brand Gamage, and this is our off-brand podcast. It's the only podcast that knowingly upset Zeus, and I've made a bunch of apology videos, but he doesn't seem to care. So, one more time, sorry, Big Z.
I gotta be honest. Fuck that guy, and I don't mean that in the like how he fucks everything. I mean that in the fuck that guy way.
I mean, Zeus is a groomer. We all are on the same page there.
He also like just fucks. Not, I was gonna say anything that moves, but he fucked a rock. So like,
yeah,
the bar is low. The bar is so low.
The bar is low, and the bar also fucked by Zeus.
Yes, the bar also needs to go to therapy because it was fucked by Zeus.
And needs to be sanitized down. Please, somebody get out there with some wipes.
Yeah, for
Hermes,
the love of
you're
God.
the fastest one here.
Honestly, not even wipes. Could you bring like a bottle of bleach? For the love of God. Similar to my life and playing Russian roulette by saying that to Zeus, each week we play Russian roulette with our success and spin a wheel to find out the genre of the next week's podcast.
Yeah, once upon a time we hit pop culture and just decided to do everything NeverEnding Story. We are a NeverEnding Story podcast now. Hey Rachel.
Yeah.
How did you like NeverEnding Story 1?
No, I believe I had strong feelings against NeverEnding Story 1.
Has that changed in the last week?
Okay, you're going to be stunned. Are you ready to hear my broad... We'll get into the specifics, but are you ready to hear my broad opinion of the second one?
I'm just asking, how do you feel about the first movie in comparison to...
I thought the second one was marginally better than the first one.
Oh my God, what?
Hold on. In the pacing. But that's the only thing that
it's funny. I even wrote down in the notes, like, I don't see how Rachel hates the pacing of the first one because the pacing in this one's way worse.
The pacing in this one was also fucking awful, but I'm not sure if it was like my bar was really low. I think this is what it is. I think this is what I liked better about it, is that you're in Fantasia like with the main character more of the time. Because the part that bugged me about the first one was the constantly getting pulled out for him to just go, oh, and then go back into the story. And they did that like a little bit at the end, but it was more of like somebody's reading over the story. We're not getting like pulled fully out of the story or out of the climactic moment that's happening to see someone reading a fucking book. Like that part is done a little bit better, but that is like the only thing.
I think
That
that you're high and that doesn't matter even a little bit.
That's the part that bugged me about the first one. That's why the pacing felt off. So I think that's the only thing. So I wouldn't even say the pacing is better. It's the immersion of being
Sure,
in
yeah.
Fantasia and not getting pulled in and out constantly is marginally better in the second one, but that's it. The
I'll
rest of
concede
it
to
is
that. Is there's
is
better immersion in the second one because it kind of feels like Page Master where it's like, oh, you're in and then you're in it, you're
yeah,
locked in, and
exactly.
it's
And then you're
not.
good. Yeah.
And then it's not
And
constantly
that's
something big is happening, and then Bastion's like, I'm gonna go walk around the halls for a minute.
yeah, hold on, let me take a bite of my apple and like putz around and then come back to this. Yeah, that's the part that I liked more. But this, I think the only reason that I like the second one better is because it's so absurdly fucking ridiculous. Because the other one was like, I think my problem with the first one is that it's like, it's kind of like what you were saying of if it's a middle of the road movie, like I'm checked out because it's neither
Yeah,
so good that I need to gush or so bad that I'm like, here's all this weird shit that happened. It's just like, yeah, all right, like I can nitpick and that's all I have.
that's what I was
So
thinking. Is like if it's bad enough, you'll be fucking glued to the TV. You
invested,
can't you
yeah.
can't look away. And I gotta say, it took me 4 hours to get through this movie
It took me 3.5.
because
Because I literally started the credits and sat down with a burrito, and I had to pause the movie 3 seconds into like the fucking credits. Or not, I guess it was like maybe 2 minutes into the actual movie post credits. I had to go rewind and pause it until I finished the burrito because I was like, I already have so many things that I need to write down.
and what's hard is that you'd pause and then you'd write something down and then unpause. And then in that same scene, like less than
Immediately
a
have to
second later, something
pause.
else would happen. And you're like, you pause and you're like, and you have to,
Yes,
it happens
it's
so
so
many fucking
fucking
times.
annoying.
All right,
No,
let's,
there's definitely a scene where I think it took like 10 minutes to get through what is probably like a 4-second conversation in real
yeah,
life.
yeah.
It was, oh, there's so many things to say about it, so I guess we should just start.
First of all, some trivia and some
Yes,
background
I have a follow-up
stuff.
question on trivia. Was it filmed in
Sure.
Germany again?
I actually don't know. I don't.
Because I feel like the way that they filmed it, they made it seem like it's supposed to be in like, I don't know, it felt like they kept making it try to be in New York in the first one. And then in
I mean,
this one, they kind of did the same thing where I felt like they chose landmarks and architecture that sort of fits that vibe.
the scene where it shows outside of the bookstore that looks like Germany.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is,
Like
but
the streets look very Berlin.
I think it was the like the anvil style like corner building that I was like, are you shooting for like this section of New York or nah?
Well, fact checker says that the Fantasia scenes of the film were shot at Stage 7 of Bavaria Studios in Munich, Germany, while the scenes set in De Forest were filmed in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, with the exception being The Swim School, which was filmed in Norbad in Munich, Germany. So still Germany.
Okay, well there you go.
First of all, this film was set to begin production soon after the release of the first film's success to cover the remaining second half of the novel that the previous film had left out. Production was delayed for 6 years due to Michael Ende suing Warner Brothers over his hatred of the first film and the way it turned out. Ende felt that that this adaptation's content deviated so far from the spirit of his book that he requested the production either be halted or the film's title be changed. When the producers did neither, he sued them and subsequently lost the case, and they called the film a gigantic melodrama of kitsch, commerce, plush, and plastic.
Oh my god.
Which is ironic because they tripled down in this movie. It's like they wanted him to suffer.
Yeah, they did. It's. I'm so excited to talk about it.
Thomas
Continue.
Hill is the only actor to reprise his role as Coriander, the bookkeeper.
Okay, yeah, yep. You know what? I should have known because I also noted that he's the same person. I was like, everybody else, I was like, different.
Yeah, he's from the original movie too. The child actors all had to be recast because they've visibly gotten older, 6 years gap. It's also not known who played the rockbiter in this movie, and the actor is not accredited in the end credits, and to this day, the actor's identity remains a mystery.
What the fuck? That's so weird. He has a lot of lines, like more than the first one.
And not as good of lines as in the
Mm.
first one.
No, they're awful. All right, so the first thing that I noticed is we go through the credits, and Anne Hathaway's grandpa is not playing Atreyu anymore, which we've already touched on. Of everybody else is new.
Also, there's no opening and NeverEnding Story song. It's going for like a John Williams thing, and it sucks. It
It's
sucks.
also like a very like black and white kind of space vibe. I don't know. Like it
Yeah,
felt
and the
kind of like
font is
Star
like
Wars.
zooming in at you. It's awful. Like I'm this opening credits took way longer than the first one, and I think the music choice was the entire thing.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah. It
can't even
was.
tell you any of the issues from the. I know that the first one had bad opening credits, but the fact that it had a fucking great
It
pop
had a
song
great
to it,
song, so also who gives
yeah.
a fuck about the opening credits? So it was like it didn't fucking matter. I
But
was
this
just
one's like
vibing to a
is it,
jam.
yeah, this one was a chore to get through.
Yeah. No, so past the credits, obviously strong start. I liked that both so they did this a couple times where they mirrored the first movie of like the angles that they would shoot something at or the things that the character would be doing is almost like the same exact thing that happened in the first one with slight differences. Um, like the beginning of the other one is he's like or he like has a sandwich and is sitting at his table, and this one is Bastion has a sandwich, but he's stabbing it with a fucking knife like the degenerate teenager he is now played by.
Yeah. Also, he is played by Jonathan Brandis, and you may remember him as Bill from Stephen King's It.
Yeah, I wrote down why does this kid have the most 90s ass look ever? Oh, because it's Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah.
Is what I have in my notes.
Yeah, it's from Stephen King's It. You know that movie. It's the movie based on a book that had the child orgies in it. Yeah.
Yep,
Uh,
that one.
yeah. Britt said he looked like Miley Cyrus, and she's not wrong.
Yes, she's not at all. You are very correct. Um, I like that we also replaced the dad from like the like business dad from Elf that just completely ignores his kids to like a studly 80s architect.
This is John Wesley Shipp, by the way. He's the OG Flash.
Is he really?
Yeah. He played the
Oh,
original Flash in the TV series. He also plays Flash's dad in the newer Flash series. So
well, check that shit out. He's reprising his role as a father.
he's a big Flash fan.
He's a big flasher.
Yeah. So uh, so yes, Bastion is being dramatic. He stabs his freshly made sandwich with a knife and lifts it high into the air while reading a book out loud. And right here, I paused. Did he make the sandwich and then decide to start reading, or was he reading with one hand and making this big sandwich with the other? And
I'm
why
pretty
did he need?
sure the way that I saw it is that like this he like went through the process of making this sandwich and towards the end when like the final piece of bread was going on was when he got distracted by the book and then he just decided to stab it. Like I feel like he put in a lot of effort.
Regardless, this sandwich is fucking everywhere now because he like lifts it into the air. It's so poorly made and it drips
Oh
everywhere.
yeah.
It looks like there's an enormous jar of peanut butter with like all of the fixings for the sandwich. I don't know what that jar was, and
Or
is that
why
on the
it's
sandwich?
associated with this meat, cheese, tomato, lettuce sandwich. But, you know, fucking why have answers to questions?
There's open milk behind him, no glasses of milk or anything. This kid sucks.
Yeah, there's a lot fucking happening while he's reading.
Close up shot of the sandwich. There's a single slice of deli meat on it. One.
Yes, there's a single slice of deli meat and then like a fuck ton of lettuce and a lot of like large tomatoes.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a very uneven keeled sandwich. And then as he's stabbing it, or after he stabs it and flicks it around the kitchen, he hears his dad pull up and he like starts unnecessarily panicking and somehow knocks a shit ton of plates to the ground and breaks those, knocks milk to the ground, and
It's worth noting here too is that the theme song does kick up right here. The Neverending Story theme song is playing. It is a different version and it's really, really, really bad. It's really
it's the
not good.
never ending cleaning. It's because
Yeah,
it's the
it's
remake with slightly changed words.
yeah. I also like that the dad is unpacking from the car, and he has all of his architect plans rolled up in his arm because busy
Yeah.
work dads always have this kind of setup in movies. It's the
Yes, of
equivalent of
course.
seeing a baguette in a grocery bag, but people aren't eating baguettes as often as movies think we are.
Or at least not as loosely. Like, how
Yeah.
often do you go to a grocery store and there's just a baguette not in a bag? This is in America, by the way. I'm sure you could just like pick up a fucking baguette somewhere elsewhere.
I mean,
but here they come in sacks. Like, I can't just raw dog my bread through the fucking grocery store. There's not just sourdough sitting out for children to touch before I pick it up and purchase it.
and you know that this whole scene where he's fucking everything up is like gonna lead into you gotta get your head out of the clouds, Bastion. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah,
And
it's establishing the abuse that is about to come down the pipeline.
it's like, oh, I'll grab this rag under this pile of dishes teetering over the edge of the sink, and that fucking falls. And then he's like trying to like wipe up milk with a wet rag. It's awful.
Yeah, I like that the culmination of this was the dad walks into the house onto his red carpet of cereal that Bastion has rolled out before him. And then they just like, they have like a quick interchange where he's like, hi, Dad. And there's a long pause. And he doesn't even give like, it's not quite disappointed. It's just sort of a stern, like, Bastion.
You are a
like,
son.
it's such a, yeah, you're in my house. That's it.
You are present.
Like, there's like almost no acknowledgement of even being upset, nonetheless giving a shit that your child is there. And then he's swimming. So, we've moved on from dad being so-so.
Yeah, the transitions in this movie are incredible.
Yeah, they're highbrow. That is for certain.
Sarcasm.
We're underwater and we see a child jump into the water, and then we're on the outside of a swimming pool. One of my favorite parts of this film is every child cutting him off to the pool ladder, because that's the most ridiculously, like, we went too far in the we needed to show you this kid is kind of bullied.
Yeah,
We had to try really hard. We couldn't show like a kid trying to drown him or tease him. It had to just be, no, I'm going up the pool ladder first.
Well, that would have taken too long, and the rest of this movie's time is taken up.
Yeah, the 30 seconds of children cutting him off to the pool ladder didn't take time at all.
Yeah, and I mean, I have nothing. There are several scenes where like there's other kids around him, and all of those kids happen to have brown eyes because, boy, they really wanted him to stand out because his eyes. I mean, if you've seen Stephen King's It, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like,
no,
this kid invented baby blues.
Yeah.
Like when you think of baby blues, this kid comes up.
Well, and with the long black eyelashes that almost look like eyeliner.
He's dead, by the way. Died at 27.
Oh, damn. Did he really?
Yep.
Jesus. His baby blues really take it out of you. All right. Well, apparently he died of drowning. So, that's a joke because there's a lot of him not. It was a poorly timed joke. Anyway, so kids shove him out of the way to get out of the pool, and then his coach is like, who wants to be on the swim team? And everybody's like, me! And then he goes, okay, everybody jump off the highest fucking, like, board up there, and it's that 30-foot tall diving board. Yeah, the high dive, which I didn't have a fucking high dive at school, nor was that the metric for joining the swim team, but, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's also what kind of fucking swim teachers like this? Well, if you want to do this, then you have to
yeet yourself off a cliff.
Pass my challenge.
Yes, you have to pass my first test and then a series of riddles, and then pick up my Ritalin.
And then Bastion tries to sneak off like a fucking cartoon villain, like he's like the dun.
Yeah, like dun. Dude, cartoon villain is a really good way to put that. It was like really exaggerated fucking tiptoeing.
Yeah, they just didn't show his toes, but they were definitely a tippin'.
Yeah, a tippin', a tappin'.
He's for sure called out to do the high dive, and it's a slow, grueling process to the top. And he stares out, and he sees not the pool, but Niagara Falls, because
I put that too. I'm
glad
you put that.
I'm nearly certain that it is actually Niagara Falls.
That was my thought too. I was like, it's not just a waterfall. Like, that's just dirty Niagara Falls.
Like, I know Niagara Falls isn't the only waterfall of its type, but like, it's definitely
It's a big
iconic enough to
bitch.
go to know. It's like the the big
Yeah.
round fucking. You know what I'm talking about, and so do you, listener. If you don't, go watch NeverEnding Story 2. Fuck you.
Yeah, you'll get the vibe.
So
Waterfall, big,
yeah,
done.
he starts to have a panic attack because he's afraid and everyone's looking up at him. Even though in the first movie he like was, flying around on a dragon, but whatever.
Yeah, no, this is worse,
Now it's a
obviously.
problem. Now it's like, oh
Now heights
no.
are scary.
Not being unsecured on a flying fucking dog snake, whatever.
Yeah, in a mystical world that almost collapsed in on itself 5 minutes
He
ago.
didn't have a fucking harness on or anything.
Yeah, no, this is
Clinging to his fur for dear life, but this high dive, oh no.
God forbid. My favorite part about this was the coach sounds like they took him from like a baseball
Dude,
announcing movie
he
and then said, "Hey, can you
sucks.
fill in?" He's like, "Hello up there, kid."
Did you catch what he said?
Yeah, high wimp factor, Bastion.
Such a
When he starts,
douche fucking,
yeah, asshole teacher.
look at this pussy, everybody laugh at him.
Yeah, everybody laugh at the sad kid. I raised his bullies. And then we're back home, and the dad's about to bully his child because he's asking about swim tryouts, and we're reliving past dad's love of orange juice because we're at the same
Oh my
angle,
god.
and he's pulling out the orange juice. And similar to the first movie, this OJ is about to be tainted with disappointment as his child explains why he did not get on the swim team.
I've written down that like prepare for Rachel to notice that they've forgotten the blender.
Yes, they did. But I'll take they remembered the orange juice. It's a close enough callback.
Even though technically this has been like a couple days to a week since the first movie, and I guess since
Is
then he's
that
just
the
like,
time
I don't
frame
need
we're
it.
supposed to be on?
I don't know, but I'm gonna guess. Okay, so in the original, in the book, it's just he reads the entire book in one sitting. It's not like he takes the book
Yeah,
back
well,
and like
in
so
the
this whole
first book he reads it in a sitting. Or sorry,
yeah
in the
so
first
this
movie he reads it in a sitting.
so this whole plot setup is like with the I'm afraid and shit is entirely made up. That's not in the book to my understanding. Because it is the whole attic scene. That's the entire movie is him reading it. And then he goes to Fantasia
I see
and
what you're saying. Like, there's no break point of him going home. Like, he's just reading it the whole
correct.
time or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so dad microwaves a pizza and then dad knows he didn't make the swim team and even guesses that Bastion chickened out with a cramp and is disappointed. Dad says he's going out to a seminar tonight at fucking 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Which is clearly not. And Bastion knows it too and is like, is Miss Station Wagon going to pick you up? Because he knows he's smashing. Bastion says he knows because the tie that dad is wearing. And I have to ask, why goofy, awful ties were synonymous with dating in like the 80s, 90s?
Well, I'm trying to show you that I have a fun, hip vibe. And
Oh, I
because I
see.
don't have one, this is my only way to pretend like I do, is by having a fun, hip tie.
And here is my favorite scene in the movie.
In this entire thing.
In this
This
whole
is
movie.
so good.
It's in my dreams because the dad starts clowning on like the pink and lavender knitted garbage that Bastion's wearing.
It's not even like clowning. Like
He's
it's like
certainly clowning.
if I went up to you and you were wearing a suit and I said, "Fuck your stupid suit," and you turned around and looked at me and you're like, "Fuck your whole fucking outfit, you piece of shit. You look like crap." Like that's the energy that he brought into this fucking conversation was like, "Fuck your stupid suit," and then he just lost it.
Yeah, Bastion turns and he's like,
stupid little fucking sweater, and it's like
Bastion's like borderline crying and he says, "But I like it," and dad's like, "I don't know why." He's like, "Mom made it." Like he quivering and everything. And "Mom made it" is such an iconic line for this whole movie.
And my favorite part is like, there's no further conversation. The dad just leaves.
Yeah.
And Bastion's like, "You don't remember, do you?" And that's it. He just goes on his date.
And it's awful. It's like a fucking half knitted apron over a pinkish bluish shirt.
It's inimdeal. It's not great. But Mom made it.
He goes up to his room and takes the knitted bit off. I think that was just like an ugly... hold on. Fact checker says the age difference is Bastion is 10 in the movie and 12 in the movie too, so 2-year difference. But that's arbitrary because this technically didn't happen. It was all in one sitting.
Yeah.
But so the year difference is 2 years in the real world, so that's enough time for Bastion to fucking crumble into his own insecurities again.
Yep,
anyway,
pretty much.
Bastion's all depressy Gaspetti now, and he looks at Christmas photos of mom. And then I put in here, Rachel, the pacing in this one is a billion times worse. That's funny.
No, you're not wrong. It is still very haphazard.
Yeah. And then we're outside. Bastion is crossing a street like a jackass. It's day now.
Yes.
He goes, okay, this I wanted to point this out. So he goes to the bookstore where Thomas Hill is reprising his role as Carl Conrad Coriander. Fun fact about Carl Conrad Coriander is that in the books, his name is spelled with C's, Carl Conrad Coriander. But in the movies, it's changed to K's.
With a K.
So his initials are...
We did a racism.
KKK. Would have been fine with C's, but whatever, man.
No, they said let's sneak in a racism. It's fine. It's the 90s.
I wonder if it's because they saw the sign in a German bookstore that said K Coriander, and they're like, oh shit. Yeah, in the first movie, he was even credited with C's, but not K's. The K thing is a whole second movie thing. I don't know why. I just wanted to
add that in there. My favorite part about this is he asks him about a how-to book on jumping from heights, and the dude's like, let me check my section on courage. And then he does the same shit he did last time, where there's like some crazy reveal. He moves a book and a fucking god ray rolls through.
Yeah, a beam of sun shines to the book. But I want to point out that it shows, like, the scene before this and the scene after this is from Bastion's perspective, and the sun is shining through the windows behind him. So,
yeah, no,
the sun is... There's two suns on this earth, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, he installed a UV bulb back there so that when he moved this book for whatever child came in next, it would highlight the NeverEnding Story.
At this point, Britt pointed out that Bastion looks like Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, Britt's not wrong.
And yeah, I did write down here, I recall this whole narrative is made up, as Bastion didn't return the book and read the entire thing in one sitting in the original novel, blah, blah, blah. And then I even said right here, and then a voice whispers from within the book, and Bastion opens the book to see the pages are fading away. And then Coriander's like, ever read a book twice? It's different, man. It changes you. Give it back.
Yeah,
Bastion
I like how he's...
argues and goes, no, it's mine. I want to read it. And then nabs it and runs off. And then Coriander's like, Bastion, wait, before doing his dumb...
don't do it. Yeah.
Everything's going according to plan smirk. Fuck off.
Well, the dumbest part about that conversation is he's he's vehemently telling him not to read it again while telling him a book is different every time you read it. Like, you're not, what the, you are speaking in riddles, sir.
But I mean, this book canonically is different every time you read it, to be fair.
No, but he's telling him that and then being like, don't pick it up.
Again,
don't look at it again.
We don't know why Bastion...
now, don't look at it again.
But again, we don't know why Bastion needs to read this book and why Coriander not reading it and believing and making wishes and everything is not good enough. Is it because he's old now? Is this movie old phobic?
No, that or he likes to kidnap children via this book, which I'm kind of thinking is more the vibe.
It starts to storm up because that comes with the book.
Oh, this is
Bastion
another identical scene.
Yeah.
So not that the whole book thing wasn't, but this one's like literally the same exact angle of him closing a shutter window to go read.
Bastion goes home. It's rainy. Shuts window. The Orin emblem, the snake, looks up at Bastion and its eyes glow. And then he reaches into the book and grabs the Orin and then takes it off the book.
Can we talk about...
It's old CG here. It's really bad. That's everything you need to know about this movie. He throws the Orin down his shirt. Like, doesn't put it... Like, it's not a necklace yet. He doesn't, like, wrap it around his neck.
He just chucks it in there.
It's not like he tucks it into a pocket. He just drops it down his shirt. Bastion hears whispers from the book about returning to Fantasia and that they're in danger. And then all of a sudden, he's in the story.
Yeah, and he wakes up on, honestly, a sick-ass stained glass, like, leaf boat thing, which was cool as shit. Some of the designs... Oh, really?
Nothing in this movie looks like a prog rock album cover, and that's my biggest issue with this. Now we're in a dark place, like there's a dark castle and shadows. And this shit is very over the top. There's a fucking throne that's nothing but thorny black spikes. And then a walking chicken with freaky human eyes walks through the throne room. And he looks honestly not that bad. Like, he looks goofy like a Power Ranger villain, but it's not nearly as bad as other things in this movie.
We meet Nimbly, this bird creature thing, and he kind of looks cool from far away, and then a little bit like nightmare fuel when you get closer to his face.
Well, I think the problem is because you get close.
Human eyeballs with
yeah, it's the human eyeballs. It gives you kind of uncanny valley vibes.
Yeah, well, and then we get a glimpse of our main antagonist, and this bitch has no face, which, by the way, never fucking comes back up again.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that until you brought it up as I'm reading the notes. Like, oh yeah, she has like a thumb for a face, and then there's a face, but we don't ever find out what that whole chestnut's about.
Your voice just got super different for me. That was real weird.
Oh shit, you are underwater now. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, what the fuck? I don't know what just happened. Hey, do I sound better to you now?
I mean,
like shitty,
objectively, yes, but it's
better than underwater.
Yeah.
As in not underwater.
Right. You don't sound underwater. Now you just sound in a cave underwater.
Okay, yeah, well that's because I took the blanket off.
Yeah, your temperature's probably regulated, and now you just sound awful, but... I mean...
doable awful, because I mean, it's not going to sound good either way, so... Here, I'm going to try to blanket as much as I can without covering the whole laptop.
Like do the blanket over you and the mic, and then just have your eyes just...
yeah, I'm trying to do... just have my eyes poking out. No, I'm doing like a weird funky thing to cover part of it so that I can see the screen. Mm-hmm.
Like a burqa, you're Muslim now?
Like a weird Eskimo, yeah. All right, hopefully this helps a little bit, because I'm trying to keep it... We'll see.
Yeah,
if it overheats again, we'll figure it out.
It sounds less echoey and not fuzzy, no hissy, so... Okay, strike while the iron's hot, or while Rachel's hot.
Yeah, while I'm dying in a blanket, let's go. So this bitch has no face, which is never touched on again, which, like, fine, whatever. And then she just, like, rolls her hands around on some glittery rolling balls that she then rubs onto her face. And
I didn't even catch that part. I just saw her magicifying a face.
No,
like she kind of reminds me of Hexadecimal from Reboot. Have you ever seen that show?
No fucking clue what you're talking about.
It's a TV show that was entirely CG in the 90s, and it looked awful because it was CG in the 90s. But there's like this character that only had like Harley Quinn masks for face, and she would like whip her hand over her face to like change her expression. It kind of reminded me of that, but not as good.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, she rubs glittery balls and then a face appears on her face. So that's, take that as you will.
Her name is listed as Zaid, and they say it later, but like not till the end of the movie. So here we are, Zaid. And
I was worried that I missed it. And then they said it later, and I was like, I'm hoping this is the first time they mentioned it. Otherwise, it's going to be the
absolutely
normal one
is
where I miss it.
But she's talking about wanting Bastion's wishes, and then calls out Tri-Face. Tri-Face?
I was very happy they kept the multi-faced people, because they were highly present in the first one. And then there's just one of them, and he is significantly lower budget.
Yeah, this guy's a very different one. Her giant throne rotates around so she could walk 3 steps fewer to a giant Spencer's Gifts red crystal ball.
Yeah, it's fucking magical.
And a doctor walks up who has a cube for a head, so that's probably 4 faces, not 3.
Yeah, I had questions about that as well. I was like, I don't think... Did we lose? Like, is one of the faces dead? If we rotate too far, are we going to get scarred? Like, what's happening here?
it moves a lot of faces around, and you see like a mustached face and a bearded face, but I don't think those ones ever speak.
No, I
It's
don't
just
think
like
so
the
either.
monocle one and then the angry-ish one, I guess.
Mm-hmm. The grumple.
Fact checker says we don't talk about the fourth face. She Googled it.
She Googled it. That's a fact.
Uh,
We just don't talk about the fourth face.
yes, one of the faces has a monocle, and then he explains, I put that in quotes, explains that his newest invention takes Bastion's memories away. With each wish, the liquid in his head forms a memory ball.
Yeah, this is some wild fucking science over here.
I don't...
My
Like,
favorite is that we then had very crystal clear exposition because Zaide or what, like, how is it? Zaida? I don't
Probably...
know. Whatever. This lady explains that she wants him to forget why he came, and I wrote, he came to learn how to jump off of heights. So,
Yeah. I don't...
like, that's all right.
Well, again, this is not in the movie, or it's not in the book like this. Like, he didn't come to the
No,
book
I
to
know.
learn how to jump. He
It
came
just
to save
ruins
Fantasia
everything.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So exactly, everything is like, because this is a second thing that had to like kind of make the second half of the
Yeah.
book. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, it's all a cluster.
They fucking built an airplane and then shot into the sky, and now they're like trying to rebuild the airplane while still in the air.
Yep, and it's not going well. But yeah, she pretty much explains her whole like master fucking plan of I want him to lose his memories so he forgets why he's here so that I can take over in the child empress's place because I want to do stuff.
Yeah, I have down here, the balls fall into a beaker and his head becomes empty, which is their exact words. I'm not paraphrasing. That's just it. And then the evil bitch commands the bird named Nimbly, we find out here, to go make Bastion wish more and more and more. And he tries and tries and tries.
Yeah, he becomes a wish pusher, that is for certain.
He sounds like a fucking cop trying to buy drugs half the time.
He does, like he's not even covert about it. He's just,
oh, maybe you should make a wish about this thing, huh?
Oh,
do you have any?
Whoa! I wish I had a
marijuana?
Cola. Could you make a wish for me to have a cola? It's a bit much.
So immediately Nimbly is by Bastion's side.
He goes, the lake is made of acid. The people would love if it was water.
I wrote down, who wished for this? Because didn't Bastion like recreate the world?
Yes.
But I do think that goes hand in hand with that it's not supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
Because again, he read the book in one setting and he gets like teleported into the book, and I'm pretty sure that the world wasn't undone yet. So the fact that this is all here, like again, it just
there's a lot of disconnected fucking wires happening.
Yeah, there's not a lot to fucking, I don't know. It's stupid. Yeah, Nimbly drops a feather in the acid and it bubbles up, and then suggests Bastion wish it to not be acid while looking at him seductively. And it's the fucking uncanny human eyes.
Yeah. My favorite part is that the plot shift from the first one to this one where he has the like talisman of Orin, and that's what makes the wishes, because he didn't need that to make the wishes in the first one. He just needed hopes and dreams.
He has the Orin and he makes wishes. Spoiler alert, at the end, the Empress does tell him, you don't need the Orin. You had the wishes all along in your heart.
She fucking told him that at the end of the first one, too. He's a forgetful bitch.
Well,
Ignore the fact that his memories are escaping him. He's a forgetful bitch.
No. We just established that this whole second movie was not supposed to be a thing. So
yeah, you can't
the
keep
ending
using
of
it
the
as
first
an excuse
movie.
We're past it.
I know, but the ending of the first movie is like technically the full ending of the book. So like I think that like
they like really skipped
that's
ahead.
what I'm saying is that's what I'm saying is like I feel like there's like this whole movie is like a big kind of hodgepodge chunk missing from like a line in the first movie, near the end.
I see.
That's my interpretation, which is why like, you know, she says the same thing in the first movie she does at the end of the second movie, because I think that it was only supposed to be said once at the end of the second movie. Am I making sense? This movie's dumb. Anyway, so Bastion says, well, maybe the acid's there for a reason. Maybe it's what makes everything so shiny as their boat travels through the canals of this obvious miniature set. So I have a problem with this scene is that Bastion and Nimbly arrive at the town square for, like, clown people. Like, do you remember Party City, the store?
Yeah, that's
And
basically
do you
this whole fucking
remember
thing.
Yeah, do you remember how it had like color dedicated aisles? So like here's a green party aisle and a blue party aisle that has
Yeah,
like
and that's basically this whole fucking thing.
it's like they gave all the extras were told to go pick an aisle and got their entire cheap looking Dollar Tree ass costume from their one color aisle.
Yeah, like
And
you know those table coverings that you get for like
yes.
outdoor picnic parties? That's what all of these
Yeah,
costumes
the
are
ones
made
at
of.
Party City in their dedicated color aisle.
No, yes, that, but I'm trying to describe the material now. You've got the
But I'm
color
I'm using
description.
this scene because this scene contrasts the scene from the first movie where like I was pointing out how like it's a throwaway scene. It's like a less than a minute scene of all these like crazy different creatures and different kinds of people.
And there was
And
so much
it's
effort put in.
so much work and care was put into this. And then this thing was like made in a weekend.
Yeah, pretty much.
If that. So Bastion's like, we got to get to the childlike empress. How do we get here? And Nimbly's very vague about everything because he wants Bastion to make wishes. Suddenly, there's a panic and the ground begins to shake. Giant Power Ranger bug monsters pop out of the ground and chase everyone.
Yeah, they look like if a beetle and a bat had a very large, toxic, nuclearly evolved child.
Nothing is worse designed than
Than this
these
thing.
monsters,
They're the most
which are
like they
called
have
giants, by
beetle.
the way.
Yeah, they're called giants, but they
I don't
have
know
beetle
why.
fucking features, but they're also kind of like robots because they can shoot out little arms with saws on them. And then they have a bat face. Like their face is a bat. I don't they're a nonsensical creature.
Also, they've got like fucking Lady Gaga platform shoes going on that they
Yeah,
just
there's a
like
lot.
clink on.
They look like a Lady Gaga costume like found a soul and started walking around. Like that's
A
what they look
child made a
like.
birthday wish.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of birthday wishes, that's all Nimbly keeps saying is "wish for our lives," and that's his whole character.
Yeah,
Uh,
pretty much.
they run around. Bastion comes to. Sorry.
My favorite fucking part of this scene is that so these creatures appear and Bastion's like hiding with Nimbly, and then he just sort of walks out to like go get a closer look and is startled that he's terrified when they start to chase him.
Yeah, I don't know what he
It doesn't
wanted
make any
expected here.
fucking sense.
Yeah, but they are chasing him. They come to a dead end of like Acid Lake, which I think is like a boat port. I don't know, but the giants get caught on a
The ceiling.
doorway or something.
They just get caught on the fucking ceiling. Picture the
they're
ceiling got shorter and now they're stuck.
but they're incapable of ducking, so they just like reverse.
Yeah, they do not have
I'm not saying
kneecaps.
they walk back or back up. No,
No,
like the fucking track they're on
they reverse
reverses.
on wheels. Like they're a very tall remote control beetle thing.
Yeah, and then they power forward again and again until they break through. Bastion's crying out for Nimbly, who just says "wish" a few more times before giving in and dropping a rope to Bastion.
My favorite is when he does that though. He's like, "Why won't he make a like?" He it's not these words, but it's the vibe of like, "Why won't he make a fucking wish?" Like, ah.
So a rope falls, Bastion begins to climb, and then the giants open their giant pinchers, perfect for cutting rope, and tiny
And just
rods with spinny blades come out. And then they use that to cut the rope behind Bastion, but like 2 inches at a time.
well, it's because they can only cut directly in front of themselves. So
Yeah, yeah.
they're like so close to his fucking toes. If they had any like articulation to any of their limbs, they'd be fine. But because they're on a fucking track, have no kneecaps, and apparently elbows or shoulders, this is what they're stuck with. They're like a shitty action figure.
One of the giants lunges forward or skateboards forward into the acid as
Yeah,
Bastion
and
climbs up
dies.
to where Nimbly is. He says "wish" again, and
Falls in
then
a hole.
Bastion leans up against something, falls into a secret compartment. And in this dungeon is like a mudman, a harp lady, a wind lady. Like she looks like Sigourney Weaver's character from
fucking
Ghostbusters.
wacky inflatable arm flailing tube woman is what she is. She looks like she's in a fucking wind tunnel trying to do like interpretive dance, but not complex interpretive dance. She looks like she's just like trying to be windy.
Yeah,
she's succeeding, but it's very boring.
She is.
And there's a small volcano.
Yeah, first off, the Wind Lady informs Bastion that he's come to the ship of secret plots. The Harp Lady sings as she speaks. She says something. I don't remember what. It's not important. And then a volcano talks.
Literally all they say, this is the gist of the entire conversation. He finds all these weird fucking potentially interesting characters.
Oh, and they all
go, you gotta go to the Empress. And he's like, yeah. And then they hook him up with a video call with the Empress. And she's like, you're the only Earthling that's been moved by our plot. Which really begs the fucking question of how many kids did they try to go through the first time? And don't bring up this is the second movie disjointed and it wasn't supposed to be. We're living in this universe, not the book universe. I
am going to bring it up a couple more times because it is important because some things make no fucking sense otherwise.
This is what, no, in that context, yes. But this is one of those holes where they're like, it begs the question of like, how many kids did you fucking invite to this book before you found this kid? And how many of those kids died? And then here's my favorite thing about the Empress. So she's, in the first book, or first movie, she is sick because of the Nothing. And then in this one, this bitch can't leave her castle because of this new problem. And she's like the type of coworker that calls in for like 5 minutes after her shift was already supposed to start and goes, hey, my speech therapist said I can't drive, so I'm not going to make it today. You guys got this? Cool, bye. Just gives nonsensical fucking reasons for not participating in the world ending. And the call starts to break up, so the lowdown that she gives him on his new quest is essentially good luck. And then she steals the help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope line.
Well, she warns him against doing something, but they're static, so she can't because magic interference or something. And then back in the real world, Bastion's dad comes from his hot date. Bastion's missing. He looks at the NeverEnding book and flips through it. Notices Coriander's shop sticker on the cover. And then Bastion is
Please
back in the
note,
book.
we've yet to see any concern from this father about his child's whereabouts. He's just like, oh, this bitch took a book.
I will say that we see more of that in this, but again, it's because disjointed is the rule I'm going with. It's disjointed because in the first one, they didn't show him at all because he was actually worried in the second one because it's the same time. Blah, 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 skipping. Okay.
Ass, continue.
Bastion has gathered an audience, including the weird windy bitch who's off to the side looking like a shampoo commercial. He asks everyone who wants to join on his quest. Are you okay?
I took a sip of my drink.
I can hear you choking.
You said this weird windy bitch is in a shampoo commercial. And so my only choice was to laugh with my mouth closed. Oh, it was a rough one. Okay, continue. Sorry.
So he asks for somebody who's going to join him on his quest, and in trots Atreyu on a clearly different horse than Artax.
Okay, also,
and this
side note,
Atreyu is way, way, way more native than he was before.
Yes, he's not a white kid with a tan is what
they gave him. I mean, like, clothing-wise, too. He has a headband and fringed leather and the works. Like, if you close your eyes and you're like, picture a little Indian boy, this is that.
This is that. Also, the problem is that the Empress tells him that he needs to name whatever is threatening them. And I just don't understand why that requires going on a fucking quest. Call it Josiah and be done with it. Be like, we need to go fight Josiah. Let's go.
A weird choice, but I wanna circle back to that too. The naming part. Boy. Anyway, so Nimbly then convinces Bastion to make a wish in order for them to get to a castle. It's hard to follow, and Bastion's
there's
like,
a lot going on.
Like, I could wish for something that can fly, and then, quote, I'll wish for the most horrible flying dragon in the history of Fantasia.
Hold the fucking
phone. That's word for word.
No. Yes, but listen to this. No. So they have a conversation about how they need to get to this castle that's far away, and they all look at all three of them, nimbly oh my god,
Atreyu.
Atreyu. My brain blanked so hard. Nimbly, Atreyu, and Bastion all have a conversation where they're like, we need to fly. And this bitch he walks away from them like he's in deep fucking thought and goes, yes, I need something that can fly. Like he just fucking came up with that idea by his fucking
like a dragon
self.
or something. A little bit of a spoiler, 30 seconds from now, Falcor's in the room.
Falcor shows. Yeah, he's around the fucking corner, just like, hey, what's up, guys? Doesn't think of the one dragon he's fucking been on. He just wishes like a stinky, shitty, awful dragon into existence, names it Smurg, and then unleashes it upon the world and calls it a fucking day.
Zaida is excited about it and watches him her crystal ball. Smurg flies around, breathing fire, and Atreyu rides off to chase it. Fun fact, there are several shots of Atreyu on horseback chasing Smurg that are recycled from the first film.
Yes, I was gonna say they use the same fucking montage footage.
Yeah, it looks good too. You're like, oh wow, oh wait.
Yeah. You're like,
And then Falcor peers his dumb fucking house elf looking ass head around a corner. And they were all worried about how to fly to a castle, and they could have just taken Falcor instead of wishing up a different evil dragon or something.
I just don't know why you've ridden one fucking dragon in your life. That's like me being in one fucking car in my entire life, and then you saying, we need to drive to the grocery store. How are we gonna get there? Let's steal the neighbor's car across the street.
But no, it's like you like forgetting that a car even exists, like a big motorized skateboard with like a wheel that we could turn.
What if? Yeah, I'm not even. That's fine. It's good enough. I'm not going to even try.
So Falcor's fur is all fur now, and he's an idiot. He sounds like a bad Optimus Prime.
Also, he has different color eyes.
Yes, he does.
He's got a couple different designs.
I noticed that a couple times he does the wink blink thing in this too.
Yeah, he also still does the creepy come scratch behind my ear. Oh.
Yeah, even though there's chaos all around them.
Yeah, no, this is important though.
Montage of Atreyu riding his horse and Bastion riding Falcor to the castle. It looks like a hand which is firing lasers. I know it sounds like I'm kind of having like a heat stroke and I'm just naming words off, but that's what happens.
What happens. Yeah, they fly through also like a hole in the fucking mountain, and then they find, and I shit you not, this is the quote, a very mean hand shaped castle.
And then we see Rockbiter, and Bastion immediately wants to stop and visit.
Oh wait, before that happens, the reason they stop chasing Smurg is because he gets shot by a fucking laser beam and dies, and that's it. That's
I completely forgot about that.
There's a whole chase scene of them trying to get to Smurg, and he just accidentally flies through a laser beam and is never seen again. Very anticlimactic.
Yeah, so they do see Rockbiter, and Rockbiter begs Bastion to be quiet, to not wake him up. And then him does wake up, him being Junior, a son to Rockbiter, who does in fact wake up and begin talking. He has a Cockney accent, which is strange because Rockbiter doesn't.
Maybe his Rock Mom does.
Rock Muncher.
I don't even. Thank you. Rock Muncher does. Sometimes you say things that I'm like, someday I'm going to put it on a shirt. Rock Muncher is going to be one of them.
Okay.
Writing it down, so it's going to be loud for a second.
It's funny because I have that thing happen a lot where I'll write something down and then later I'll look at it without context and go, I don't know what this is. Like, here, let me...
I had to start adding context because I had shit in my phone like Godzilla vs. Beans, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Here. Here's a note. I wrote down pussy troll. Do you know what that is?
A pussy troll.
I don't. I also have written down...
I don't.
I also have written down skelepathically. Like, telepathy, but a skeleton.
Our bones are communicating telepathically.
Well, yeah, it's like maybe I wrote it down in like something that you feel in your bones or something.
I'm just a really good X-ray technician. I take the images telepathically.
I also wrote down Happy Quizzle Bash. I don't know what that is.
Okay, that's just nonsense.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's from something.
It means something somewhere in my brain waves. I just don't know what.
Cinder Jabbernat. What's that?
Okay, can you save these? Can we do our next intro is just nonsense?
I have 20 pages of notes in my phone of like, oh, I better make a note to do that. What's Fortiflora? What the fuck is Fortiflora?
All right, Gamage, we will go down the list of these at the beginning of the next episode because I have a bunch of my own that I'll pull up.
I don't want to,
nonsensical. No, it'd be good. It'd be funny.
Fact checker has just informed me that Fortiflora is an antibiotic or a probiotic, sorry. And that is a thing.
To fortify your flora in your intestine.
Yeah, so Rockbiter is like munching on some rocks that are empty, and the boulder crumbs drop into Junior's eyes, who gets so mad that he walks over to Falcor and bops him in the nose because there's a butterfly there.
Just punches him straight in the face.
Rockbiter says, "When are you going to learn the difference between a rock and a nose?" Which means that this is an ongoing issue. This is not the first time it's happened.
Which is just weird.
Remember the monologue about how strong his hands are, but he couldn't save his friends? Good times, good writing.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he's found happiness. Clearly.
When are you going to learn the difference between a rock and a nose? Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, his monologues have really gone downhill.
Rockbiter says Junior's fussy because he's hungry, despite being surrounded by rocks. Also, Rockbiter is tinier than before. Like, I remember his foot was towering over Atreyu.
Yeah, he's physically smaller.
But now it comes up to Bastion's chin in this movie. He's like way smaller. But Junior isn't eating rocks because the good has gone out of the rocks. I wrote that.
I don't know what the fuck that
means. They're all empty now. That. They're all empty now.
I also don't know what the fuck that means. Are they all geodes? Just like the middle's missing?
That's actually a plot point, is that, spoiler, things are becoming empty now.
Which, we'll get there.
I
have things to say.
Yo. Get in line.
Yeah. So, foreshadowing, the rocks are empty. What does that mean?
Zaida walks up to her spiderweb windows and has evil thoughts about the nameless childlike empress because she doesn't have a name. Mm-hmm. Because again, I forgot what we called it. It's time compression of the two movies.
Also, she was never named in the first one, so there's that.
I mean, she was named in this at the very end, but again, continuity.
Was she? Oh, wait, no,
Moonchild,
she did introduce herself. Yeah, no, he literally named her. Yeah, no, you're right.
And that's why...
That was the whole plot of the first one.
And the plot compression of these two movies is why they went this whole movie without ever saying Moonchild.
This whole movie is a fucking wormhole. Continue.
Yeah, she picks up one of Bastion's memories and peers into it. It's a memory of a baseball breaking a window and then Bastion being mad that Dad didn't take him swimming. I don't know why that's connected.
It's just a bunch of memories of his dad being mean to him because it's the baseball breaks the window and he's like, "What did you do?" And then he doesn't take him swimming and ignores him and shit. It's just a bunch of memories of his dad being an asshole.
Thank God Nimbly's here to inform us that the ball is a memory.
Oh, he says that so many times.
Outside of the book.
That is not the only time he does that.
Yeah, outside of the book, Dad has actually taken notice that Bastion's missing this time and has gone to Coriander's bookshop and asks if he knows Bastion. Coriander pulls some, "Do we really know anyone?" bullshit, which I love.
Yeah, what fucking speaking in riddles about a missing child shit is that? Also, I like that he has yet to speak to the police or anything. He's just at a bookstore like, "You see my kid?" Bastion's
father finally gives his name, which is Barney. And then Barney is like, "I saw the address in the book," and Coriander's like, "Where?" And the sticker's gone, which is useless magic. I don't know why that.
Yeah. He's just gaslighting him because the guy goes, he says this so many times in the film, "I'm an engineer. What I see is what I see."
I wrote that down. I see what I see. And because he's an engineer, fuck, this movie sucks is what I wrote.
Yeah.
Coriander's all creepy, saying, "Maybe you'll learn about your son's disappearance inside," being the book.
Refer back to speaking in riddles.
Back in the book, Atreyu finally finds Bastion with Brockbiter. Where were you that took so long? He's on a horse, you were on a dragon, shut up.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? I put that in all caps. Immediately sasses him about taking longer to arrive on a horse than a fucking flying dragon.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Atreyu mentions he brought an army, but Bastion can't see them. He asks what's in Atreyu's bag, to which Atreyu does say, our army, and then everyone but Bastion laughs. And, spoiler, I see what that army is, and it's not a laughing matter.
No.
Nimbly is looking through the memories. There's a Christmas one. Triface is on a serious face. He's mad Nimbly isn't out making Bastion wish more. And then we go to Bastion,
we get
who
to
has
the best planning meeting ever.
I know. Bastion has drawn out
So
3
good.
arrows in the sand and said, "That's the plan."
That's literally like it says if I went up to an empty whiteboard in a room full of people, drew 3 arrows, and then said, "This is how we're gonna get out of debt." Like that's it.
To which Atreyu responds, "It's dangerous, but it just might work."
Also, Gamage, if this makes you feel any better, after that line where I talk about what you're talking about, I put the pacing in this is also fucked.
Okay. I do feel better now. They talk about Bastion's mom a little and how the ivory tower is a prison. Falcor drops some, all we have are memories. Everyone's upset that no one will read about them. Blah, blah, blah. Bastion and Atreyu sneak into the laser hand castle. Bastion is immediately shot by a laser and lets out this otherworldly wail.
Yeah, I wrote that fucking Bastion is clearly awful at platformers because he just runs straight into the beam.
That has nothing to do with platformers. That's just walking. But yes.
No, but I mean, like, when you play, like, a game where it's like, oh, you have to wait for the guard to pass, and then you run across. Like, clearly he's never practiced this skill.
Yeah, so this laser gets him, and Atreyu runs over and then points the Auron around his neck back up to the laser, which reflects it, I guess, or some shit, and it blows up. I don't know. And then Bastion says, "You saved my life." Atreyu says, "Yes, you would have done the same." And then I wrote in here in all caps, "No, wrong."
Yeah, well, and he responds with like, "So I've never seen these films. This is foreshadowing for a future occurrence." But he was just like, "Sure." And there's this awkward like, "Nah, bitch, I would let you fucking die" moment.
For sure.
Dude, also this kid's full name is Bastion Balthazar Bucks.
Yeah, BBB, and then named after
I forgot his mom was
his
Moonchild,
father,
to be honest, so.
And then his father is Barney something Burtz.
Burtz.
I already forgot what it was. I don't care so hard.
It doesn't matter. He screams his name to try to get an audience with the evil lady. A fucking weird beetle creature shows up.
The giants pop out. Atreyu ditches.
He lectures them on communication.
Yeah, while Atreyu's like laying out some big eggs, and then the giants come to answer the door.
Okay, I had to go back in the film and turn the subtitles on, because fucking I thought he said huevos go, as in eggs in Spanish. But it's wombos. I was close.
Yeah, so Bastion is blabbering to the giants, and their claw rod spin blade spins menacingly. Atreyu has laid out all of his beautiful eggs, and then I don't even know what to type here is what I typed out. Tiny RC cars of like purple elephants and turtles launch out of the eggs and shoot sparks.
With like cannon asses? They all had like cannon butts.
Yeah, while cavalry horns play, and then they just move annoyingly around, which is enough. And this is their army.
While shooting sparks.
And this is what everybody was laughing at. Okay.
Which I get now. Understand it.
So Bastion finds a steep balcony thing, and steps begin to grow out of it when he makes a wish. A giant, I don't know, comes around out of the ground and goes up towards Bastion. Bastion's like, "I wish for another step. I wish for another step. I wish for another step. And another.
This kid is
One
not
more.
a problem.
I wish for another step.
Because he could have just been like, "I want steps all the way up," and he went this one, and then this one, and then this one.
I wish I was up there. I wish I could fly.
Yeah, like
I wish I were a baller. I wish I were a scholar.
Also, like, I wish that the fucking antagonist didn't exist anymore.
Dude, don't get
Great
me
option.
started on the wishes.
Great possible wish.
I got I
no.
got very upset by the end of this movie. We'll get there. We gotta fucking motor
It's all
this.
nonsense. Yeah, we gotta keep going.
Yeah, Atreyu's fighting the giants and then gets caught on some iron gate. Bastion
Which
has
is
made
silly,
his
'cause
way. I know it gets worse.
He could have just pulled his foot out, but whatever.
Bastion has made his way to the top of the tower and begins climbing down some stairs, and finds Atreyu hanging from a chain. They wasted zero fucking time capturing him and chaining him up.
And then stringing him to like the fucking ceiling of a 10-foot tall building.
Yeah, like Bastion couldn't have taken more than 2 minutes up these things. And then so a giant comes out, and this one has a buzzsaw and begins sawing at the chain holding Atreyu up over lava, maybe. I'm not sure why he's cutting it, as they put him there instead of killing him in the first place.
Yeah, who the fuck knows? But they use their little saws again.
There's an anticlimactic fight scene with a chain around the giant, and he falls to his death. It's boring. This movie's boring.
Mm-hmm.
2 more giants show up. Atreus is all, we need weapons, so Bastion wishes for a can of spray paint.
Which one of my favorite interactions in this film is Atreyu asks if that's a weapon, and Bastion says people use it against walls.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, the walls must be dangerous where you are. And like, that's it. And then we just continue on with that.
Yeah, he runs up and sprays the giants in their face. That's it. Could have got a gun, I guess, but whatever.
Stupid. Yeah, there's so many things that we could have just
like a magic sword, Excalibur. This kid is well read, by the way. He listed off 186
He stabbed
books.
a sandwich, but he won't stab a beetle creature trying to murder him.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb.
So the giants fall and shatter because they're hollow and empty. It's a plot point that Bastion talks about.
Yeah.
And then he says that the reason Fantasia is in danger is because of the emptiness, which isn't the nothing. They're different. They're very different.
Yep.
One is nothing and the other is nothing inside something. Now, I want to point out here that I believe...
Which is funny because the nothing in the first movie was definitely something.
I want to point out here that I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. I haven't read the book, so I might be wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, and we're dealing with...
fact checker?
Book compress. She's not going to look it up. It's fine. But I'm pretty sure that like it's the book time compression of both movies together. Is the nothing and emptiness were supposed to be the same thing.
We needed nothing part 2.
Yeah. So, yeah. Bastreyu walks up some gates, and then Bastion wishes for them.
Bastreyu, their ship name.
Bastion wishes them open. Fuck, this movie's only halfway done. I put down.
Yeah.
The evil. It's fine because like the last like half of the movie is like so compressed because nothing's happening.
Yeah,
the evil Zaida rotates her throne around to face them, surrounded by a billion candles, and she looks like a wannabe Tim Curry.
Yeah, she does. There was definitely some inspiration happening there.
She's being a bitch about controlling the emptiness and how it's good, actually, because it brings order to Fantasia.
Well, and I love that she just immediately is like, oh, you've defeated me. And Bastion's like,
did
I did it. And Atreyu was like, bro, we did it. The fuck?
Bastion demands she releases the childlike empress, and Zaida says no. But couldn't he just wish her to?
That's what I put too. I put, why doesn't he just wish her free or wish this bitch gone? But, you know, fucking.
And then Atreyu's like,
points.
let's just fucking kill her, and draws his bow at her. And then it ends there. Like, she's just like, okay. Barney's driving through the rain. Barney's driving in the rain through the city looking for Bastion. Contextually, this does make more sense with the first one in mind because this means he's looking for Bastion. But again, movie compression. He breaks at a red light and the book opens up, and then he reads a little bit of it and notices it's regarding Bastion's day and Coriander. Barney immediately thinks this means Coriander kidnapped Bastion and wrote about it. Back in the book, Falcor is refusing to let Zaid ride on his back, and she's all, it's fine, I have my own carriage. And a fucking crystal pod just sputters along to them, and they're like, yeah, okay, you could take that instead.
Well, and then I like... Bastion's like, oh yeah, I'll get in that one instead of riding the cool fucking dragon. That's fine.
Well, yeah, I was putting first that Nimbly's there, and Bastion doesn't ever think to go, hey, what's up?
Why the fuck are you here? Yeah, no.
What you doing? Yeah, then
Hmm.
Zaida does invite Bastion to ride with her, all Ice Queen of Narnia like, and
Yeah, she's
so
very Ice Queen of Narnia. That's her whole vibe. She did come first though, so maybe Ice Queen of Narnia
way
stole her show.
obviously more evil. Like the Ice Queen kind of has some elegance
Mm-hmm.
to her. That's the point. And this woman's like fucking bloody vampire gothic, and
Yeah.
that's cool, I guess.
She's like traditional devil evil.
So the pod drives towards the ivory tower, and then Atreyu follows. Outside, Barney gets a cop involved and goes to Coriander's shop, but it's empty and for sale. That's the scene. Zaida tries to convince Bastion that Atreyu sucks. She's surrounded by
Yeah,
desk gadgets
and
that you could find at Spencer's Gifts.
and this kid has no fucking survival skills because he spends all of about 5 minutes in her carriage before he's like, oh, this evil person that I've spent my entire time here foiling is suddenly nice to me and helping me and giving me all these cool gadgets. So she must be cool, and starts believing just fucking everything that comes out of her mouth.
I like to think, because they don't explain it, because there are more wishes he's making that they don't show.
Mm-hmm.
Probably it's in the books, but I like to think that he's losing his memories and he's becoming dumber because of it. That's at
Oh,
least
a
what I
hundred
hope.
percent. I'm pretty sure that's what
But
it is.
they don't even they don't show that. They also don't even tell that,
No.
and that's a problem.
They barely hint at it. And
It's
then we
sort of kind of
we
implied.
see some cool inventions that do not ever get used for any plot point in the fucking story, other than he makes wishes in
Yeah, I
relation
don't.
to them and loses his mind slowly.
Yeah, she gives Bastion a belt that makes him invisible. There's a human eye on the buckle. He tries it and he just disappears. He can't even see himself or the belt, tricking him into making a wish to be visible again, which is stupid. They've
Yeah, you
stopped
could
at
just
some
feel the fucking belt. It's so dumb.
they've stopped at some clearing, and Atreyu shows Bastion that they've been going in circles. Bastion's like, no way, she says we're almost there, our prisoner that we've captured because she's evil to undo the curse that she did. Uh,
She's cool though.
I'm real good at knowing when people lie. She's under my control. He's got to be like
Yeah.
dumb because of no memories right now.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately not explained that way, so he just seems dumb. And then we flash back to the dad who's now um I was literally writing the words. We've really yet to see the dad be concerned about anything other than the bookshop, like the bookshop guy. And then as I type this, the dad begins reading a paragraph about himself that says the dad is going out of his mind over his son's disappearance. What a real show don't tell, or what a real tell don't show moment.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it was just like oh, we never actually see him being really upset. We're just going to tell you he's really upset. Okay.
Yeah, then he's in the room. He looks at the book and then it's just like, I'm in the book. And then in the book, Bastion's having memory issues. Atreyu watches a wish happen and a memory be pooped out.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the memory of his mom dying of cancer. She says we're a part of a never-ending story. I get it.
Yeah, they said the title.
Nimbly cries because of the memory. Falkor knows what's up, and he's like, says the emptiness is filling Bastion's head. Bastion wears the invisibility belt again. I don't know why, but he's
I
sneaking
think
up
it's
to.
because if you listen to, there's like a conversation him and Zaide are having where, like, he's clearly not remembering that he's tried it on before, so she's making him try it on again so that he wishes to take it off again. Like, she's putting him through loops because he's not remembering that he's been in the loop before.
That's at least what I think it is, but again,
No, you can hear it happening. They have that conversation
oh,
like in the
I can
background of
only
another
take your
scene.
word for it. I believe you.
Yeah, that's fine. Continue.
So he's sneaking around and listening to Atreyu and Falkor talk about him. He only hears the bit about them taking Orin away from Bastion, but they're basically like, I'm really worried about Bastion, and the wishes are making him lose his memory. We should take Orin away from Bastion. I think that'd be better for him because he'll be able to heal from this process. It's like, the normal kind of conflict climax that you see in movies,
Mistaken
but
issue.
like
Yeah.
way, way, way bad.
So then we get the most beautiful scene in this entire fucking film, and it's Bastion goes to confront Atreyu and calls him a liar, and Atreyu goes, wow, rude. They start beefing super hard, and Atreyu explains that he is losing his memories every time he makes a wish, and says that he wants to take away Orin from Bastion, And Bastion goes, take it if you can, which is a bold, crazy fucking statement because Atreyu is a horse riding warrior with
He hunts
a
buffaloes,
friggin'
and
bow and
Bastion
arrow.
and Bastion
Yeah, and
sees
Bastion
Niagara
is a
Falls and he can't jump off a
and
fucking diving board.
Yep, and is so for all intents and purposes, Atreyu is way more capable than Bastion. But then Bastion gets crazy aggro and murders Atreyu and is horrified for a
Straight up murders
split
him.
second. Yeah, he's dead. This
Yeah.
is canonical.
He
He
gets
throws
thrown
him
off a
down a
cliff.
cliff and he is dead. And he's horrified for a brief moment before getting angry again and telling him that he threw himself down the mountain.
I mean, that could be shock. That could be like adrenaline. Just, benefit of the doubt.
Don't
I
make
shouldn't
excuses.
because the God,
He
there's
murdered a child.
yeah, absolutely, I agree.
And then he sees that Atreyu was telling the truth, and he goes, "Oh, damn! I didn't mean it."
Yeah, he goes back to
And
the carriage and sees the machine, and that Zaida says, "You only have 2 wishes left." And then Falkor flies away with Atreyu, and Bastion rides Artax.
and chases him down.
I don't know why,
And
Bastion knows at this point. He could just wish to have his memories back or wish to destroy the machine, but
Yeah,
whatever.
or just fucking anything that would solve this entire film from existing.
I'm reading this and I'm getting mad because Barney, Bastion's dad, is all, my son on a horse? He can't ride horses. There is an entire fucking scene in the first about him taking horse riding lessons.
Wanting to take horse lessons. Also, that's what you're focusing on? Your
Yeah.
child just killed another child, and that is what you got out of that scene.
Well, I mean, he's in shock and he's going through adrenaline and...
Stop giving people excuses for murder, Gamage. So he's riding 8 tracks, and then Zaide rips him off the horse using magical powers or whatever, and he falls down a giant canyon into a river that runs, shocker, to the waterfall he was scared of in his swimming class because imagination comes full circle in this motherfucking bitch.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Oh, it's the same exact waterfall, same thing.
I just didn't care.
And then she gets mad that he's still not wishing for things because he's not wishing to get out of the water or whatever. So, oh my dear God, Zaide and the Beatles go into the underworld of Fantasia to, quote, travel with the speed of darkness, which is faster than the speed of light.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I fucking glossed over that whole fucking thing.
There's a whole scene where she's like pissed off that he's like dying in this waterfall and not wishing to get out of it. So she goes to find him with her giant beetle creatures, and the dad's reading the scene. And so he reads out the line, travel with the speed of darkness, which is faster than the speed of light.
Did you watch the same one that I did?
Yes.
Because, I just remember Barney sweating and then, has the book, and he's just he, smiles, and then it's just nimbly flies the Bastion.
Yeah, I mean, that happens, but then there's this scene.
Either way, nimbly flies the Bastion and says he's going to help him now, and then quotes his mom about being in a NeverEnding Story.
My favorite is that I put nimbly is apparently faster than the speed of darkness because he finds Bastion first and tells him, I'm a good guy now because I looked at your memories that we stole from your brain that I wouldn't have been able to look at if they were still in your fucking head.
Your good memories are what made me good. It's the whole Otto Octavius and Peter Parker's mind conundrum.
Yep.
And then they go to the Silver City, where Falkor and Atreyu are.
They don't go because he asked Nimbly to go with him. And he's essentially gives the vibe of, I had a change of heart, but not that big. I'm good. Bye. And just ditches him.
Yeah, he really doesn't do much. He just kind of says oh, your mom, NeverEnding Story, and then disappears, and that's it. He doesn't really do anything.
He makes your mom jokes, says NeverEnding Story, and leaves. And the dad is still sweating while reading.
Yes, they go to the city where Falkor and Atreyu are. The city's now dark and foggy. Bastion uses one of his last 2 wishes for Atreyu to come back.
This scene is fucking wild to me. He wishes for him to come back, and he just apologizes as if he didn't kill him. And he gives Atreyu big doe eyes, big baby blues. And Atreyu goes, yeah, man, it's cool.
Well, more specifically, he says, your mom would be proud. To
Yes,
which
of
Bastion
murdering me.
says, who? Because
Yeah.
Zaida appears because why not? Because of the speed of darkness. She says,
Which is
wish.
apparently slower than birds.
Yeah, birds. I could have told you that. She says, wish to go home because you don't belong here. It's your only chance. So his last wish is for Zaida to have a heart because
Oh, yeah,
he's
he goes, bitch, you
really.
ever read The Grinch?
Yeah, because he's really
Blows her
bad
mind.
at wishing.
Yeah, she explodes also.
I don't know why he didn't wish to like get his memories back or like anything.
He's not very smart, Gamage.
No.
He's just
I wish you
objectively
had
not a very
heart.
smart kid. Have you ever read The Grinch? I wish that you had a heart. And then she blows up.
Yeah, she cries
Her
magic
and the Beatles
and
just
blows up.
explode.
The Giants blows up. Fantasia restores itself, but it's like not over yet. The Empress pops up and says, Bastion used the only wish that would have worked, which I'm skeptical of.
I feel like there's many a wish that could have been made much, much earlier and negated this entire film. But I put, is she childlike because she ditches all of the important shit? And I think the answer is yes.
Yes. And then Bastion can only say if I...
Sorry, I couldn't take any of this scene seriously because the fucking interpretive wind tunnel lady is in the background the whole time. Living
just
her
keep
best
leading towards her.
Maybelline life. Yeah.
And then so Bastion can only save Fantasia by going back home, and the only way to go home is to dive into Niagara Falls because character development. Falcor winks doing his weird eye thing. I think they use the same animatronic but different fixings on top.
He's just like allergic to dust in the air.
Maybe. And then we watch a stunt actor twice the size of Bastion diving into the falls.
Oh yeah, it's very clearly a different person.
And then Barney hears a knock on the door. It's Bastion. They embrace. And then we get that bad, awful cover of NeverEnding Story, and it's really bad.
Before it ends, they embrace, and the dad also explodes because his emptiness, too, was replaced with a heart.
Yeah. The emptiness just moved to the real world. And we'll get into that because it's the beginning to the third movie. Haha, just kidding. But not about the third movie. That really did happen, and we are going to cover it.
And we're all going to hate our lives because of it.
What have you been listening to this week? Tell me your music. It's good music, I'm sure.
Okay, I have a song recommendation for you. It's called Dog Valley by The Moss. And it's technically they're alt rock,
by the who?
But it has kind of The Moss. Like as in
yeah. Yeah, I know them.
It has, like, they're technically alt rock, but you know those older punk era songs where it's just kind of somebody like telling a story?
Yeah.
But it's like, it has a very particularly, like, I guess punk vibe to it. I don't know how to describe it. It's him talking about wanting to be a dog and piss on things, and it's a little bit entertaining. So that's Dog Valley by The Moss.
I have a Valley song myself.
Oh, hey.
This song is Death Valley High by Orville Peck and Beck.
Ooh, I love Peck and Beck. Orville Peck.
And you love Beck too, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Beck's pretty good.
Oh, you know
Some
Beck.
of the songs, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I was making sure.
No, you're good. I was fucking with you.
I can't imagine somebody knowing Orville Peck but not Beck.
Well, you introduced me to Orville Peck.
Yeah, I think they got together simply because their names are rhyme.
Peck and Beck. You said it's Valley High?
Death Valley High. It's a fucking banger because it's very melted version of both of their styles. I don't know the words to use. Ooh. I'm hot.
It's a good... So melted is what came to mind.
Fusion is, I think, the better word. Because Orville Peck is a country singer. Beck is like an alternative kind of folky kind of sound. And it comes together and it's kind of fucking baller. It kind of sounds like casino-y, kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's great. It just came out, so awesome. There's a bunch of good songs that just came out this last week, and I had to pick just one, and that sucked. But
yeah, it's really hard when the new releases all drop at once, and you're like, well, I guess I'm backlogged for like the next month of music recommendations.
I know. I have another one that'll come next week, but that's the song, and that's my show. Goodbye.
And It's never ending. Thank you for listening.
Uh-huh,
If you
uh-huh.
liked what you heard, or you're gonna hate us for doing the third movie, please send us an email, or like, or subscribe, or drop a comment on your most favorite podcasting place. If you want us to talk about a thing, including telling us to shut the fuck up about NeverEnding Story, we will thank you. It's WHTPAH at gmail.com. That's whoopah at gmail.com. Same spelling, but on blue sky. You can find us. We also have Instagram at We Have That Podcast at Home. And next week, we will unfortunately be continuing to tackle the long and never ending fucking process that is this terrible film series, NeverEnding Story 3.
NeverEnding
I've been
Story
on
3.
this dogagon for too goddamn long, Rachel.
And I've been off-a-gon, octagon, gamageagon. Goodbye, Gagon.
Bakugan.
Bakugan.